I'm just going to ask him to keep it short. Yeah. Okay, welcome everyone. We are going to go ahead and get started because we have a very full lineup, which I'll talk about in a moment. I'm Jeremy Simon, one of the volunteers with Off Square Music. Thanks for joining us for our all-original open mic. As you might be able to tell by the crowd, these things have been growing in popularity, which we love to see. But as a result of that, and maybe it's partly the weather being so beautiful today, we ended up with quite a large list for today. So we're doing 10-minute sets as usual, but I'm going to ask everyone who's performing tonight, please do your best to keep it a little bit on the short side. If you can, carve a few minutes off of that. I'll tell you right now, if everybody takes their full 10 minutes, we're going to be here past 10:30, and I don't know that everyone is up for that. So we'll stay, but help us out by trying to keep things short. Maybe just a couple of poems for the poets and for the musicians. Just try to avoid those 5-minute long songs if you can. Anything you can do to keep your set just a little bit under that 10 minutes will be much appreciated. So we want to give everyone a chance to get up here, especially those that drove out here from Rockford. Good to see all you folks here. All right, so I will be back about halfway through the evening to give some other announcements about our upcoming events. For right now, just a couple of quick remarks so we can get into this. We do ask you to please silence your cell phones. You'd be surprised how the sound carries up here. When people are in the middle of a set, it can be pretty distracting. So please do silence your phones. If you are afraid you might forget to turn them back on, you can just put them on Do Not Disturb until I leave this location. You'll find that setting in there as an option, and that way they'll turn right back on when you leave here. Let's see, we are live streaming, so hello to those that are watching us on our YouTube channel. You can find that. It'll be right up there after you go home tonight, so just go to YouTube, search for Off Square Music. You'll find our channel, and you'll see the recording of the live stream there. You can share that with friends and family. You couldn't be here in person if you'd like. And let's see. Donations. We've got our the red donation box over there by Keith. We do ask for a $5 donation. That's really just to help us cover the rent for these evenings. Off Square is a nonprofit organization, and really need your help to cover those costs. We usually end up just barely breaking even on these things. So $5 is a suggested donation. If you're able to give a little more, that's very much appreciated. It helps us bring events like this to the community. So thank you very much for that. And if you are watching on the live stream, same thing goes to you. If you scroll down to the video description, you'll find a link to our donation page there so you can give with a PayPal or credit card if that's convenient. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. I think that's everything I need to cover for now. So I would like to introduce your MC for this evening, Terry Long Carrick. She'll introduce our first performer.
I'm going to break the rules a little bit and start with my small announcement. One of our esteemed participants, Diane Welson, isn't here tonight, but she asked me to announce that she has a very special program that she'll be involved in. So mark your calendars for April 10th. It starts at 6 o'clock and ends at 7:45. As you know, she has therapy animals, and she's going to bring a therapy pony to the Woodstock Library, and then she's going to read poems, and she has wonderful photographs of animals, and she is a very good photographer, and she invited me to read 2 of my cat poems, so I'm happy to do that. Oh, I'm sorry, and Trisha's going to be there as well, us animal lover writers. Okay, first on the lineup is Max Farrak, a young man who plays the keyboards and creates some very ethereal composition. Oh, he's switching. Okay, he's switching to guitar. So Max, come on up and take it over.
Doesn't work? Okay, we'll mic your guitar.
Interesting setup here. I like these shades. Hello. I'm back at Stage Left in Woodstock, Illinois. But there's a twist. I went to Colorado for 5 days 2 days ago. And I got back, and you know what was so cool about Colorado? You can make a lot of cool music just from the concept of Colorado, because they got cool mountains there, man. Heck yeah. So just before I start my first song, which is a story, so if you like to pay attention to the words, see, we have a couple poets up there, so I'd like to give a shout out to my friend up there. His name is William. He's right there. Can we get an applause? I hung out with him today, and it was pretty cool, because I haven't seen him for a couple days. So this is a first cool song. This is Eli the Barrow Boy. Eli the Barrow Boy of the old town, so cool and marigold, and he cries out all down the day. Below the tamaracks he's crying, on cards and candle wax for buying all down the day. What I could afford to buy my love a nice robe made of gold and silk, Arabian thread. She is dead and gone and lying in a pine grove. Still I push my barrow all the day. Still I push my barrow all the day. Eli the Barrow Boy, when they found him, dressed all in corduroy, he had drowned in the river down the way. They lay his body down in the churchyard. But still when the moon is out with his push cart, he calls down the day. Would I could afford to buy my love a fine gown made of gold and silk, Arabian thread. I am dead and gone and lying in a church ground. Still I push my barrow all the day. Still I push my barrow all the day. That's not a song about Colorado. That's a song I found, and it was really cool because if you know me, I like my ethereal stories. So this is a song that I wrote about Colorado, and it took me, I had only 5 days to rehearse this song. So I'm not that good at guitar, so I think you'll all hopefully enjoy Colorado. Thank you. She said, I'm sorry, I have to leave you. My aunt said I did something wrong. I said, don't worry, I'll send you pictures. I'll write down your name in the snow. As I approached there, the pilot crash landed. Finally, I see the mountains. Oh, Colorado, why don't you get it? Why didn't you follow me home? I don't belong here, I don't deserve you. I saw her face in you. I don't belong here, but darling, I miss you. Oh, Colorado, why didn't you follow me home? Hiking at Red Rocks, snowshoeing with little tots. It all reminds me of you. I take pictures, oh I take videos, just so that you can see too. That it all shows your beauty as I rumble down in Buena Vista. Tropic wintry winds forgets you, so I must fly back to sing this song here, even if it brings me to tears. So I say, oh Colorado, why don't you get it? Why didn't you follow me home? I don't belong here, I don't deserve you. I saw her face in you. I don't belong here, but darling, I miss you. Oh Colorado, why didn't you follow me home? Thanks. I'm Max Firat.
Do you need this? This side? Okay.
So one of our regulars, Dorothy Burris, with a little storytelling, I'm sure, and some a cappella singing.
Thank you.
Okay.
So to me, when I like to tell stories, and my music is right now it's all a cappella, as you people that know me. It's written up to have other instruments with it, but I'm the only one. So when I tell stories, I would always start with the word "so." And when my mother was alive, I would tell her stories every day. And I'd say, "So," and then she'd get ready for the story. And then my grandson, who passed away also, I would say, "So," and his eyes would get the size of saucers, and, you know, it was a wonderful thing. So, I'm going to give these two a shot. I feel, maybe all of you feel it, but I feel like we're quite living in a duality right now. And so these two pieces are kind of about that. So let's give it a shot. On the day that I was born, my guardian angel was insane. She took me to the station and got on a different train. She left me no instructions, that's how my story starts. I took the ticket in my hand and boarded the train of broken hearts. Oh, how could she leave me when I needed her the most? Is that the right behavior for a heavenly host? Didn't she notice how tiny I was? Is that what a guardian angel does? Well, I sat there in my seat with hands held tight, eyes open wide. Sorry. I watched a man walking up the aisle, and he stopped right by my side. He said, "I am the conductor, and I've been noticing your fear." And then he asked me if my Holy Mother knew that I was here. How could she leave me when I needed her the most? Is that the right behavior for a heavenly host? Didn't she notice how tiny I was? Is that what a guardian angel does? Well, I took a look around that old heartbreak train. It was driven by a demon, fueled with pain. But I kept on riding, 'cause I knew that I must take it to the end of the line, to a place called Ashes and Dust. How could she leave me when I needed her the most? Is that the right behavior for a heavenly host? Didn't she notice how tiny I was? Is that what a guardian angel does? Well, I started to feel my feet finally touching the floor. So I jumped up off that seat and yelled, "I won't ride this train no more." And all of a sudden, that old train jumped the track, and I saw my guardian angel riding in the back. And I said, "How could you leave me when I needed you the most? Is that the right behavior for a heavenly host? Didn't you notice how tiny I was? Is that what a guardian angel does?" She said, "I never left you when you needed me the most. That's not the right behavior for a heavenly host. And I didn't notice how tiny you were, just how bright your love light was. Just how bright your love light was." I actually got on a train when I was 3 years old and took it to Aurora from Warrenville by 3 years old. This one, I'm going to see if I could do this. Rodeo lady, sweet loving lady, it's time to come down from your ride. Your life has been a daydream. You've created such a bad scene, from riding so high in the sky. Put away those silly notions, hide your true emotions. Face each new day with a smile. Stop yearning for the good life, stay home and be a good wife, and you'll be all right for a while. Rodeo lady, sweet loving lady, you'd better come down from that ride. Stop your planning and your scheming, your hoping and your dreaming. We all die in pieces every day. Hide your boredom and live for tomorrow. Passion only brings you sorrow. Never listen to what your heart has to say. Put your feet back on the ground. Be still, don't make a sound. And you won't cause trouble that way. instrumental. Rodeo lady, sweet loving lady, don't ever come down from your ride. Don't stop planning, don't stop scheming. Keep on hoping, keep on dreaming. 'Cause I can't stand to see one more dream die.
Gail Harris is next up.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Yes. All right. I'm only going to read 2 tonight. This one is, I belong to a conversation group, and the way it works is somebody gives us a word, and that's what we talk about. There were 12 of us gathered, and the word was create. At once, my mind perceived the image of a room full of words and building blocks, and as each one of us approached that pile, I saw that each one chose a different word, a different block to start a process that would prove unlike a single one the others would produce. And each would proudly show her work as unexpected and unique as she was herself. I thought how God, that infinite mystery, created every one of us in its own image, and yet each one is different, with the same creative urge, limited only by time. And on a lighter note, this one's called Replacement Parts. When I'm in line to board a plane, alarms go off and guards exclaim. They think I'm armed. They see a threat. Though I'm the calmest they have met, I try to tell them, to explain, I have a card that makes it plain. A lot of me has been replaced with metal, which takes up the space where bones once grew, but grow no longer. For they were weak and metal stronger. So you can see, I then proclaim, I'm not a threat or alien. Meanwhile, the line is moving on. I'd like to board before it's gone. I'd like to get my window seat and something possibly to eat. So can I please get on the plane before that damned alarm goes off again?
Now Judy Fergan's going to share one of her essays. Come on up, Judy.
Oh, that's perfect. Oops, that's garbage. This is called The First Day of Spring 2025. The oak trees have released almost all of their leaves. In another week or two, mowing the grass will be a 7 to 10 day chore, which I'd rather do instead of vacuuming the carpets and dusting. There will soon be baseball at Wrigley Field. Perennials that have waited to push through the soil will show the soon-to-be-planted annuals who's boss. The clickety-clackety we hear on the sidewalk is a young roller skater who is finally using a Christmas gift. Squirrels are easy to spot and continue to show off their flying jumps to sparse branches, where they will make a nest for offsprings that will be born. They remind me of the cartoon Rocky and Bullwinkle. Hawks and owls are maneuvering through our area to find their next meal. Cardinals and blue jays are also preparing nests to sit upon because the eggs they lay will be addition to their families. One afternoon in February, a family of 6 deer strolled through our back lawn and proceeded to the neighbor's property. It happened so quickly that I couldn't take a picture fast enough with my cell phone. Unfortunately, many wild deer have wandered through areas of the county and have either been hit by a car or shot. Barbecue covers will come off the grills, as will the outdoor furniture on the deck. We've grilled when it's cold outside, but anticipating Easter and spring is what's next. I'm hoping that the 4-letter word snow will decide to wait until next winter. And this isn't something anonymous, but it's something my mother used to say. Spring has sprung, the grass has riz. I wonder where them flowers is. Okay, this is short. It's called Animal Family. What doesn't ask you for money will eat almost anything you prepare and will spend an amazing amount of time with you regardless what you're doing. My heart says a pet. When we decide to have a dog or cat or even a bird, they are similar to having a child. We need to feed them, make sure they have enough liquids, give them plenty of attention, and pets become part of your family and at times are warm gifts to have and to hold until your veterinarian finds a flaw that could suggest more frequent visits and a daily medication to help your furry friend. After hearing this, your heart and mind make your eyes tear up. A pet owner, with or without their pet or pets, will always consider them part of your family. A kitten becomes a cat. A puppy becomes a dog. Years later, once they have gone to the Rainbow Bridge, which is animal heaven, we still think of their time with us and reminisce. Some of us still have their ashes or have them buried somewhere in the yard. Their personalities stay with us forever. For a dog owner, the thousands of walks remind us of meeting other dogs and their owners who commiserate with us when we have to let go. Those with cats and smaller pets also have a tough time and hoping they will always be part of the family.
And the next person is Kurt Lewis. He's going to sing, oh, I remember you, Kurt. He has some very honest ballads. He's very heartfelt, honest, down-to-earth ballads.
Hey, everybody. What a great night, huh? Good to see so many like-minded people. Thanks for coming to my therapy night. I'm going to try something different. On the sign-up sheet here for the event, there's an option, a question they ask for, do you want to use Bluetooth to like stream music? And I've never done this, but I took a track off my last CD. I've got 4 CDs out. And I stripped the lyrics from it, and so I'm gonna try this. This is like you see on TV all the time, except I won't be lip syncing. You'll be hearing me sing, and my guitar will be real, but the violins and the piano and all that stuff is recorded. Okay, good. It's just a little awkward. I don't have my roadies here with me to do this. The song I wrote about, I talked about my Vietnam stuff last time I was here, and some of you might remember that, but I've got like a whole album's worth of Vietnam themed. I don't know if that's a polite word for it, but this happens to be written about the young 19-year-old kids that are out in the jungle fighting basically to stay alive long enough for their time was up so they could get back home. So many of them out there had to reach a point where they knew they probably would not be making it home. The song's called Hearts Are Bleeding for those that are coming to realize that. But after I did this song, I was watching, do you guys remember Mike Wallace, the war correspondent? I found a video and audio of him out in the jungle with these young kids fighting. And one of the kids in this group got injured during his time. Actually, he wasn't there. It was a correspondent. He was doing the reporting. So in this audio, you're going to hear in the background, if you're live tonight, you probably aren't going to pick up on a lot of the words. But I was able to mix in this war correspondence with the music. And, it's worth the cost of the CD just to hear him talk. That's just for your info. But. Now the rain is falling. It holds me to the ground. I can see the road before me, but I keep falling down. This place I think I'm leaving, where I do not know. Too many hearts are bleeding. I'm not going home. No, no, I'm not going home. Too many hearts are bleeding on the ground.
He's already got 3
Too many hearts
Everybody calls
bleeding.
him Hero. Then there's
Pulls
Lieutenant
me
Blue.
down.
Everybody calls him Blue. That's
Too
his
many
radio
hearts
code.
bleeding
Blue didn't want to come to Vietnam.
on the
A
ground,
businessman and a soldier.
on the
He's
ground.
running the lives of 21 men. Somewhere in this jungle, there's several hundred North Vietnamese soldiers who could wipe out this little American youth.
Not back on the mainland. There's not a witness to the fight. There's not a hole left in the flag. It don't seem right. I'm not sure what I'm fighting. Oh no, no one seems to know. I'm not afraid of dying. That's how far I go. That's how far I go. That's how far I go. Too many hearts are bleeding on the ground. Too many hearts are bleeding. It holds me down. Too many hearts are bleeding. ground, on the ground. On the ground.
The enemy soldier who shot Jorgensen cannot be found. He may have survived or dragged himself off the dock. Most of the time, he never really knows. The problem now is to get Hero out of here. So Lou pulls in the medevac helicopter and sets up a perimeter protection.
On the ground. Thank you, guys. That work okay? Could you guys make out enough of the music to make that work? All right. It's worth the price of admission. That's my rule of thumb is, you get your money back is what I tell people. All right, thanks for setting that up for me to do that. Staying on the serious side still, I had a friend that lost a son. I'm sure some of you, well, I shouldn't say sure. I hope this is not true with anybody, but if anybody out here has ever lost a child, that someone that's passed on for whatever reason, I have a friend that lost a child to suicide from mental illness. I hate calling it suicide. He died of mental illness. He took his life. And watching her struggle with that, and with social media, the comments, and it was clear the amount of pain she was in and the suffering that if you've never had that happen, which I have not, luckily, I have 2 wonderful kids, I just cannot imagine what it's like to lose a child. But to lose a child that way has to be a different place you end up in. And I wrote this song called It's Not the Rain, realizing that through her life she's going to have people telling her you have to move on. He would want you to move on. He would want you to be happy, that sort of stuff. And I can't imagine that's possible, doing it that way. So I wrote the song It's Not the Rain for her, sort of like a reminder that there's a kind of emptiness that has to come with that. I imagine there's an emptiness that comes with that we just can't erase. They say you cry too much with your head in your hand. There can't be a reason for you to feel this bad. They say it's alright. They say just let it go. But your tears won't stop falling from a place they don't know. The boy that you lost lives on in your heart. We can't see the darkness that keeps us so far apart. He knew you tried so hard. He knew the love you gave. But the life he had followed, not even you can save. You lie alone in the dark. You try to fight on your own. You escape to a corner, to a place they don't know. And then a light in the hallway that seems to find you once more. You feel yourself just breathing, but still alone on the floor. They say you cry too much with your head in your hands. There can't be the darkness that makes you feel this bad. You know they say it's alright. They say just let it go. But your tears won't stop falling from a place they don't know. You know it's not the rain. You know it's not the rain. We know it's not the rain. You know it's not the rain. Thank you guys so much.
And Carol Obertebessing's been having some very strong feelings about what's going on in the world, and that inspired her to write these poems.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Jeremy, Keith, Andy, and everyone at Off Square Music. Thanks to everyone who's here tonight. Don't forget to get a beverage in back and tip generously back there. Before I read two poems, I'd like to invite everyone here to come to the Woodstock Folk Festival Spring Benefit Concert on Sunday afternoon, April 27th, right in this space, beginning at 2 p.m. And we have some really fine musicians and poets who'll be with us that day. And they include Trisha Alexander, whom you'll be hearing from a little bit later tonight. John Benishek, who is a singer, songwriter, playwright, and actor. Right now he's in Bleacher Bums over in Westmont, if you want to head over there to see him. But he'll have some original songs for us. We have the great Mark Dvorak, legendary in this area. And then we also have Val Leventhal from Chicago, who'll be coming out for this. We have Terry Lankarik, our host tonight. And then we have Leah Nicene McCoo and Karen Mariah, a popular duo. And if you have not heard Leah's voice, you must come. She has one of the most powerful voices, and always, she and Karen always treat us to some excellent songs. We have Les Urban, and you may know him from The Leftovers, but he is also an excellent singer-songwriter, so he'll be doing some of his own material that afternoon. And then we have the lovely local popular duo of Russ and Diane Ward. And the theme of the concert is Becoming the United States of America, songs of liberty, justice, and unity, something I think we all need to focus on these days. And that will be part of a kickoff celebration for America 250, the celebration of America's 250th anniversary, which culminates July 4th, 2026. I have two poems. The first one is one that some of you may have heard before. I wrote it right after the election in November. And then the second one is a follow-through on the pledge that I made in the first poem. My pledge. Rain falls, temperatures drop, nighttime comes. My country falls into darkness. I cry. Disappointment, anger, depression follow. What happened to our principles? Where did the hope and joy go? I have no questions, only question. I have no answers, only questions and despair. Then voices begin to speak. Don't throw up your hands. Roll up your sleeves. Get back in the fight. We must act with clarity and unwavering resolve. And so I make this pledge. When adversity arises, I will be resilient. When I see wrong, I will bear witness. When justice is denied, I will speak out. When civil rights are violated, I will step forward. When democracy is undermined, I will work for its survival. When we are divided, I will seek common values. When I see cruelty, I will fight it with kindness. I have not wealth nor the power of an elected official, but I will use the voice I do have, and through poetry and song, I will try to restore love, hope, and the American dream. And it's hard. It's very hard to follow through on that pledge. I've read it to myself so many times, and yet I still wake up in despair so many days, especially if I've just listened to the news. So the second poem, and this is not an April Fool's Day poem, despite the title of it. This poem goes beyond what the pledge was, and as part of my action for this, I'm going to be participating in the nationwide demonstrations happening on April 5th. Major things are happening on April 5th. When the Absurd Becomes Real. Written on the 250th anniversary of the day, March 23rd, 1775, when Patrick Henry was said to have given his "Give me liberty" or "Give me death" speech. When the absurd becomes real. The sun rose in the west today. The trout flew across the sky. The robin swam through the sea. I used to think when pigs fly was the sign of an optimist. But now, this topsy-turvy world brings fear and despair. Where did my country go? A land where those who help are fired, where it is okay to allow children to die, where peace means rewarding the aggressor, a place where science is discarded, where journalists are silenced, where protesters are sent to jail, a country where freedom of speech results in deportation, where oligarchs are above the law, where judges' rulings are ignored. Once, these were things that happened in other lands. Our country fought against them. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness were not just for the privileged. Can this be our world? Do we bow down to a king? Does money triumph over law? I say no. Let us speak out and take action. If necessary, we must fight. Truth demands courage. Justice demands vigilance. Freedom demands resistance. Thank you.
And now Mark Lyons is going to grace us with some of his original songs.
Ah. And so, okay? All right. Well, thank you for that introduction. That's actually the second best introduction I've ever been given. The best was once when no one was around, I had to introduce myself. All right. Well, I'm going to start out. This is a song I wrote one night when I was trying to grow portobello mushrooms, and they weren't growing. And I just happened to be listening to a Buck Owens CD, and somehow the two became intertwined in my brain, and the unholy union they produced was this song. Trying a different key. Don't treat me like a mushroom, 'cause that I can't endure. Please don't keep me in the dark and feed me bull manure. You tell me that you love me, but my doubts keep creeping on, just like that toadstool fungus that grows upon my lawn. You know how I love you, so many times I've told. You're my portobello, but you treat me just like mold. You kiss me and you hug me and say, honey, I'm all yours. Then I find you on the town just spreading round your spores. Don't treat me like a mushroom, 'cause that I can't endure. Please don't keep me in the dark and feed me bull manure. You tell me that you love me, but my doubts keep creeping on, just like that toadstool fungus that grows upon my lawn. You like your fun and parties, you like the wild nightlife. You don't want a husband, you don't want to be a wife. But on my knees I beg you to give me one more try. Just stay with me and you will see that I'm a real fun guy. Don't treat me like a mushroom, 'cause that I can't endure. Please don't keep me in the dark and feed me bull manure. You tell me that you love me, but my doubts keep creeping on, just like that toadstool fungus that grows upon my lawn. Just like that toadstool fungus that grows upon my lawn. Thank you. Fair warning, the jokes only get worse. I'm going to switch instruments here, so excuse me a second while I slip into something less comfortable. A friend of mine was on an African safari, and he eagerly was telling me about it, saying that one of the days they were going about and they spotted a leopard. I said, don't be ridiculous, they grow that way. I told you they only get worse. All right. Well, this next song is a song that I never wanted to write, never intended to write, but I had to because it was the only way to cope with the tragedy which the song inspired. So here goes. Running through the city streets or rambling through the woods, is a far cry from the comforts that he's known. For him there are no biscuits, no pats upon the head. He's 100% on his own. He'll make his evening meal from some discarded scraps of food that some camper left by a log. And then he'll make his bed beneath a blanket of stars, because he's nobody's dog. Nobody's dog, where will you sleep tonight? For you there is no bedside, no fireplace warm and bright. The place for you is by the side of man. But I guess you'll have to do the best you can. Once he had a home and a loving family, and thought that it would always be this way. What sort of circumstances, what cruel twist of fate turns a loving family pet into a stray? To be dumped along the roadside while his family speeds away and quickly disappears around the bend, and leaves the forlorn creature with his trusting heart betrayed. It's a strange reward indeed for man's best friend. Nobody's dog, where will you sleep tonight? For you there is no bedside, no fireplace warm and bright. The place for you is by the side of man. But I guess you'll have to do the best you can. Now the morning sun lies heavy across the eastern sky as nobody's dog begins another day. His fur is all in tangles and his bones are pushing through, but he tries to carry on anyway. But the story ends abruptly as the sun sinks in the west, as concrete, fur, and steel and rubber meet. The car drives fast and far away and leaves nobody's dog to slowly bleed to death in the street. Nobody's dog, you're sleeping now tonight, still without a bedside or a fireplace warm and bright, a victim of the cruelty of man. But I guess you just did the best you can. I know you tried to do the best you can. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, what? Oh. I was playing a little softer, too.
All right, thank you, Mark. A lot of powerful stuff tonight. Thank you all. And I appreciate everyone keeping their sets just a little bit short. We are just about 10 minutes ahead of schedule. Every bit helps. Thank you very much. Got a couple of announcements, and then we'll get right back to it. We have some upcoming events that I hope we will be able to have some of you join us for. Our next ticketed event, we're trying to do a concert the first Friday of each month this year, at least during the colder season, which we're getting towards the end of here, hopefully. And then we'll switch into our outside series, off Square, the Sundays on the Square series, and those will have a different schedule. But the next one coming up is the first Friday in April, which is April 4th, coming up pretty soon, and that's going to be a concert right here at Stage Left featuring Ken Johnson. Tickets are selling pretty quickly, I noticed, so if you haven't already gotten your tickets, please do. Just go to our website, offsquaremusic.org, and you'll find it right there on our homepage, and there's a link to the tickets there. So I hope some of you will be able to join us. It should be a wonderful evening of music with Ken. Carol already mentioned this, but I want to say again, we have the Woodstock Folk Festival Spring Benefit Concert coming up on Sunday, April 27th, also here at Stage Left, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on that Sunday, and there are some flyers over there on the left on the wall there, so if you'd like to grab one of those flyers, that has all the details, and you can get your tickets over at woodstockfolkfestival.org. Then our open mics, as usual, we'll have 2 of those in April. We do the regular open mic on the second Friday of each month, so that'll be on the 11th at 7 o'clock here. Those, when I say regular, that just means kind of anything goes. We get a lot of covers, but originals are always wonderful as well. Those tend to be more music, but they don't have to be. Poets, you're welcome. Storytellers, please join us if you'd like. And that's on April 11th. And then on the 4th Friday of each month, we do these all originals. So that'll be on April 25th in April. And just as you're hearing tonight, these are, it's anything original is welcome here. And they tend to be more of a mix between music and poetry and storytelling, and all of it's wonderful, as you can tell. So please come back on April 25th. We also have a virtual open mic, so you'll have an opportunity to join us on Zoom every single Saturday evening from the comfort of your own homes. We do those starting at 7 o'clock every Saturday. We've been doing them for coming up on 5 years now. We started them when COVID started, and we just kept them going because they're so much fun. And we're still getting a great turnout. We get usually 25 or so people every week, and we usually have 7 or 8 performers doing 10-minute sets. And then Andy Andrick, who's here tonight, runs a little music trivia at the end of the evening for us, which is also a lot of fun. So whether you'd like to perform or just join in the fun, please join us on Saturday evening. If you go to our website, Off Square Music, you'll find in the side column you can sign up for our email lists. And one of the check boxes is the every Saturday virtual open mic. So if you sign up for that list, you'll get the links in your inbox each week so you can join us. And if you're performing, we start sound checks at 6:30, but the actual event starts at 7. And I just want to thank our volunteers, as always. We've got Keith Johnson doing audio for us. Thank you very much, Keith. Andy Andrick, who I already mentioned, helps us getting everything set up and taken down at the end of the evening, so thanks to Andy as well. We've got our host MC, Terry. Thank you very much for taking us through the evening. And back there at the bar, we got Sam helping us, so please stop by, get yourself a drink or a snack, and tip him generously. Thanks again for your donations. Redbox up here is available. If you haven't had a chance to do that, you can hit it on your way out. We do suggest a $5 donation just to help us cover the costs for these evenings, so thank you for that. Let's get back to it. We've got a lot more to get through, and just so that we can keep things running, I'm going to go ahead, if you don't mind, just introduce our next performer, Sue Reckenthaler, one of our regular poets. I know you'll enjoy this.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy. I have 2 short poems and one that's short but not as short. Angels. There are still a few of them left. The ones with hearts on their sleeves, arms wide open, breathing it all in. These are hard times for them. The world wants to rub their hearts off, harden their tender skins, erase that love. They know who they are. They recognize their kindred by the loving glow and tender scent. The rest of us need to be ready. They will lead the way. Thank you. One of my favorite movies on Turner Classics is a movie called The Enchanted Garden. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but I got thinking, this is very similar to my husband and I. or the enchanted cottage at our house. Like the classic film, we live in an enchanted cottage. Here we remove the masks we wear out in the world. Here we are surrounded by the comfort of books and music and plants and pets. We may not be Dorothy McGuire and Robert Young, but here we too are beautiful. Here the years have been kind to us. Here love still grows behind the walls of our enchanted cottage. Thank you. Earthbound and heavy, we long for the sky. We weave the winged ones into our stories. Eagles, Phoenix rising, Icarus trying to escape, raven, mother hens, the peaceful dove, the sweet songs. Earthbound and heavy, we long for the sky. We nestle our babies in the nest of our arms, soft and tender as the breast of the wren. We give them wings and the freedom to fly. Dickinson wrote, "Hope is the thing with feathers." Dylan wrote, "Birds are free from the chains of the skyway." Earthbound and heavy, we long for the sky. When our sweet ones fledge, we look upward, hoping, waiting for their return. Thank you.
Now another one of our favorite regulars, Deb Glopke.
Thank you. May is Mental Health Month, National Mental Health Month. Excuse me. I didn't think about that when I prepared what I was going to read tonight. It probably would have been more appropriate for May, but here it is anyway tonight. The reason I didn't think of it is that mental health is our family business at home. This is named Darkest Hour, and every word in this narrative is absolutely true as it was spoken to me. Crisis intervention. This is Deb. How may I help you? My name is Pat. I just feel so helpless, and everything is falling apart. My name is Joe, and I'm going to die. What is there to live for? I'm going to prison, and I don't even remember what I did. My name is Joan, and I'm calling on behalf of my sister, who mentioned being suicidal and said goodbye. My name is Dale, and I had to put my wife into the hospital. She cut her arms because I threatened to leave. My name is Joan. I'm calling about a family friend who is hallucinating. My name is Barney, and I'm just having a murderously hard time. I was supposed to get married, and I got cold feet. My name is Dave. I get scared from bad dreams. My name is Willie, and I came up into my kitchen to make a cup of tea, and I heard a noise. My name is Edith. I'm so depressed. I woke up 2 hours ago, and I'm all alone. My name is Yvonne. My sister has been in and out of mental hospitals. She has been real violent all day. My name is Tracy. I'm like the only one home, and my parents aren't here. I'm afraid of being raped again. My name is Renee. I really need help. I'm more depressed than anything. I'm 8.5 months pregnant, and I need food. My name is Dawn. I, took some pills. 25 Xanax a half hour ago. I have some problems. My name is Morris. I'm just feeling very low, and I would like everything to end for me. I'm gay, and nothing in this world is going to make him want me. My name is James. I got a problem. My wife wants a divorce. If I could just take the easy way out. But the reason I don't is that there must be hope. Hope, the secret sauce of life, as elusive as a spring wind, yet desperately desired by all. It is this that drove each one to make the call. In every life, there is the darkest hour, a human moment, lost in a labyrinth of fear. Then, a kind voice says, I am here. Hope to be shared by someone, perhaps someone like me, who has been there and lived to make the call. Thank you.
And now Mike Johnson he's always surprising us with his wry sense of humor and his very unique ballads.
Tall chair or a regular chair? I can grab one of those if you prefer. I think the tall do. Fall might be good theater.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I feel kind of, what's the word, trivial, silly tonight with what I'm about to throw at you. I mean, think of me as the comic section of the Sunday paper tonight. No matter how bad it is out there, you can always reach for that. And so, anyways, it's the end of the month of March, and the month began with on the Sunday of the giving out the Academy Awards, and I didn't watch the show, and I only watched one of the movies that ended up being nominated for Best Picture. I did it kind of out of self-defense. I'm one of 5 brothers, and the brother immediately older than me and the one immediately younger than me are lifelong fans of Bob Dylan. I like Bob Dylan, but I'm not into him like my brothers are. So the movie A Complete Unknown I went and saw, and it was a good movie. One thing that was in that movie that I didn't see coming was they used kind of a dramatic device through the movie where they kind of paid homage to an older movie from the golden era of Hollywood, a movie that starred Bette Davis and Paul Heinrich. Paul Heinrich, I don't know if you remember from Casablanca, he was the guy that Ingrid Bergman just had to stay with for poor Humphrey's, broken heart. And anyways, that movie was called Now Voyager, and the device they used was cigarettes. Betty's lighting Paul's cigarette, Paul's lighting Betty's cigarette. Sometimes they got 2 at once going. I watched that movie once. I wanted to check for emphysema afterwards. It was so much tobacco flying back and forth. Anyways, there was another movie that did win a couple Academy Awards that was obviously inspired by one of the great movies of a golden era, The Wizard of Oz, the film Wizard, musical takeoff. And I'm going a long way around to get you to my first song, which is also inspired by that great movie that starred Judy Garland, Margaret Hamilton, a nice woman, really, I think. Roy Bolger and all those munchkins. I always heard about the other guy. I never thought it could happen to me. But there I was. I found myself about as low as a man could be. Without a friend to call my own, with nothing left to lose. I went back home. I locked my doors. I did the only thing left to do. I put my heels together, thought about a yellow brick road. Closed my eyes, I said over again, there's no place like home. When I opened them wide, I was hoping I'd find my life was just a bad dream. I soon found as I looked all around, it was just as bad as it always seemed. Somewhere someone said, you know, life is just a state of mind. You look no further than your own backyard. Happiness you will find. Well, a desperate man in his desperation will give most anything a try. There's one born every minute, boy, I was ready to buy. Put my heels together, thought about a yellow brick road. Closed my eyes, I said over again, there's no place like home. And when I opened them wide, I was hoping I'd find that my life was just a bad dream. I soon found when I looked all around, it was just as bad as it always seemed. Yeah, so you can take your happily ever afters and keep them to yourself. As for me, I'm gonna close that book, put it back on the shelf. Old fairy tales and nursery rhymes, they might be all right for you. But there's no rainbow on this man's road, where the only color is blue. I put my heels together, thought about a yellow brick road. Closed my eyes, I said over again, there's no place like home. When I opened them wide, I was hoping I'd find my life was just a bad dream. I soon found as I looked all around, it was just as bad as it always seemed. Put my heels together, thought about a yellow brick road. Rent the movie, you. So I don't need this. I just finished something. That's why I'm here. You got to vent it out. I don't know about you, but when you finish something, do this without. There's a thread of a tune in this, but don't try too hard to find it. It's not worth the accompaniment. So, anyways, this is something I just finished that deals with a man appropriately about my age. I don't need to be more specific than that, thank you. But anyways, who finds after quite a long time of being dormant on the sidelines in the game of life, he discovers that he's been reawakened into a relationship. He's not sure what to make of it. He's fallen in love, doesn't know. So he's questioning this, he's confused. He's not sure about his own sanity. So anyways, we'll give this a try. Oh, I've tentatively titled this, I may never need it again. I'm in love, exclamation point, question mark, confused face, emoji. Okay. A man like me should know better, at my age should know better than this. Show a little bit of common sense. Any thoughts of romance anymore should be strictly in the past tense. So what is this I'm doing now? What am I thinking of? It seems I'm smitten by that old bug bitten, I think they call it love. I was doing fine a little while ago, doing it on my own, living out my lonely life, living it out alone. Along came Cupid, that little devil, took aim from high above. His poisonous dart shot through my heart, shot full of love. Well, you can round up the usual suspects responsible for this crime. Her smile, her eyes, that silly laugh. It gets me every time. Basta, I say, no mas. Enough, I say, enough. What can this be that's happening to me? I'm in love. A man my age should have more discipline. Show a little bit of self-control. Concern myself with matters more urgent, matters of the soul. I have no business with this other kind of business anymore. Let's have dinner, shall we? Dance? I might die out on the dance floor. One thing's for certain, one thing I'm sure of. Staying out too late, I'm in bed by 8. 'Tis a younger man's game, is love. Oh, and as for the physical act of love, well, let's not even start. The warranty expired long ago on all of those parts. I should have my head examined, my brains removed and stuffed. The results are in. Insanity wins. God help me. I'm in love.
I'm going to introduce Bryn Jeffries, and I think she's a comedian. Are you? I don't know. It's
Yep.
for the audience to decide.
Feel free to grab the mic if you like.
All right, good evening. Oh, this thing gets all tangled up. There, Free. Be free. So let's, let's try to lighten this up a little bit. Stage left. So let's get right to it. I'm an addict. How's that for lightening things up? So hello, my name is Bryn. All right, we know everyone who's been to meetings. Take note, Sam. Okay, so my name is Bryn, and I am addicted to the Food Network. Whew, feels great to get that off my chest. When my husband is sleeping, I'll sneak into the kitchen and I have a little one-on-one time with Bobby Flay, who, if you ask me, is rather easy on the eyeballs. He has a show that's called Beat Bobby Flay, and I'd like to beat Bobby Flay, and I'm just going to leave it at that. He dropped out of school. Dropped out of school at 17, worth $30 million. Somewhere in the world, there's a high school counselor going, I was a tad off base on that. He turned out okay. But, it's obvious I'm a fan. I'm not like a stalker or anything like that. He's a cool guy. He's been on Food Network since 1995. He has a home in New York. He has one in Hollywood Hills. He's been married 3 times, divorced 3 times. He has a beautiful daughter named Sophie. He used to have a big orange fuzzy cat named Nacho. He prefers boxers, not briefs, and he should probably close his bathroom curtains. Or not. My husband is very supportive of my addiction. He bought me for Christmas a book by this legendary chef, Snoop Dogg, which he has such great recipes in it as Wakey Wakey, Eggs and Bakey, which consists of scrambled eggs and, wait for it, bacon. That, along with peanut butter and jelly and buttered toast, gets him a book. I've tried making a few of the recipes in there, but I've never really been able to get through it. There's something about his combination of herbs that I just kind of zone out and giggle at my lava lamp, and dinner winds up being dry cereal straight from the box. So yes, my husband is very supportive. He's a pretty cool guy. I love him. We met a little later in life. I lovingly refer to him as my cockroach because nothing can kill him. He has been shot at in combat, he beat big bad cancer, and when I turn on the kitchen light, he scurries behind the refrigerator. There's one thing that may do him in, and that is me. In the middle of the night, he doesn't snore necessarily, that is, to be honest, is entirely my department. He has this other little quirky habit. He breathes, but here's how he breathes. And here's what goes through my head. Oh my God, he's dead, he's dead, he's dying, he's dead, oh my God. Oh God, he's alive, okay. Oh, I'll kill him myself for Jiminy Christmas. So anyway, because of my husband's big bad icky cancer, we were told we were not going to be able to have children. And I'd like to have some words with that Navy doctor, because you can imagine the eyebrows raised in my direction when, uh-oh, I'm pregnant. Not right now, don't worry about it. People raise their eyebrows in my direction like, oh, Bryn, been on a lot of business trips lately, haven't you? No. Maybe, yes, just shut up, okay? But we had this beautiful baby girl. She's amazing, and she looks nothing like Bobby Flay. And then, however, a few years later, we had another one. So we have 2 of these critters, both girls, number 1, number 2. Number 1, she's like my little Mary Poppins. She's practically perfect in every way. Number 2 embodies all the reasons that they give you that speech in the hospital on why not to shake the baby. Everything okay there? Number 1 wants to be a neurologist because she wants to find the cure and cause to Alzheimer's. Number 2, I'm pretty sure is going to be a stripper because she comes home and the clothes just go off. There's socks over here, there's a shirt over there. I found a pair of her pants in the neighbor's yard. I found a pair of her pants in the neighbor's yard, people. One might ask, how did the pair of pants get in the neighbor's yard? I still do not know. How come the neighbors didn't notice a random pair of pants in their yard? Another really good question. But here's the thing. The neighbors have 8 kids. They have 400% more children than I do. They cannot keep track of whose pants are whose. Mom should probably keep track of her pants. Ooh. So anyway, but number 2, she is also selling Girl Scout cookies. So the Girl Scout cookie program is the largest entrepreneurial program in the world led by young girls. And as a parent, I am here to declare bull pucky. The girls do nothing. It is all the parents. All of it. My kid's sitting there on her screen, and I'm like, do-si-do, off that couch and get your thin mint butt out there in January and knock on some strangers' doors. Actually, they're going more digital now, so then it's up to the parents to send the email, send the text, tally all the cookies, collect all the cookies, sort all the cookies, collect all the money, schedule all the drop-offs, and who gets all the patches and the prizes? Not the parents, it's the girls. My daughter wanted to sell like 15 more boxes to get some stupid fanny pack, and I'm like, I will buy you a Louis Vuitton set of luggage if I don't have to go out there and help you sell 15 more boxes of cookies. So we have these girls, and you know what? I love them, and I had no idea the amount of absolute pure joy I would get out of embarrassing the hell out of them. And it is so easy to do. All you have to do is go up in public and be like, hi, and it is game on. I get up in front of people, strangers, and talk about beating Bobby Flay. So just imagine me dropping my 14-year-old off at the school dance, okay? Don't come home with any hickeys. I'm gonna go home and help Dad clean the guns, okay? Bye, have fun. I also lie to my kids quite a bit. And not just about Santa Claus and Easter Bunny. And did they tell you there are going to be spoiler alerts here? Sorry about that. But about, yes, I saved the 25th picture that you drew of a snowman. I totally did. I sent it to the Guggenheim, and it's on display there. I'm saving all the other ones in my round file in my office. Also, the music truck. I don't know if you're aware of the music truck. It doesn't have ice cream. It's just the music. The city of Crystal Lake, actually, it's the service that they have, and they just drive around and they play music for everyone. Don't raise your hand, or the music truck might stop, and then nobody else would get to hear that music. My first one, number 1, figured that out first. She's pretty smart. She's smarter than a lot of Gen Zers. Do we have any Gen Zers here tonight? Sweet, let's talk about them. I'm Gen X, okay? I am the OG of the slacker generation, okay? Gen Z takes the cake. Most generations have a letter associated to them. I think Gen Z should have more than one letter. I think they should be Gen A-E-I-O-U. Because they draw their vowels like this. And how do they have time to talk like this, but they just can't get to work on time? It's hard. And I had to go to get my venti Starbucks. I couldn't do it. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but a few years ago we had this little thing called a pandemic. Yeah, and it was kind of a bummer. I think we can all agree, but let's talk about some of the good things that maybe came out of this. Al fresco dining, that's lovely. Sourdough bread. Everybody all of a sudden loved carbs. And they had these little starters, and people would name their starters, and I think they still do. I was told that this is because it's like a baby, and you feed it, and it grows. But then it gets gassy, and you punch it, and you stick it in the oven. So it's really not like a baby. That's part of the speech they give you in the hospital. Masks. I honestly didn't mind masks. I didn't wax my upper lip for about a year. How about curbside pickup at the grocery store? That is the closest thing any of us will come to royalty. Here is a list of my wishes. Go fetch it off your shelves. Put it in the back of my chariot. Do not breathe on me. I will show you my code through the window. Do you remember that first gathering or meeting when like the world opened up again. We were like 5-year-olds at a birthday party. It was amazing. And here are like some of the phrases that you heard, like, oh my gosh, your kids are so big, your hair got so long, you cut your hair, you lost so much weight, he got so fat. Did Bryn always have a mustache? So anyway, that's my time, friends. Thank you. I'll tie this back up.
And now here's our resident cheerleader for social justice and love, Trisha Alexander.
Stand tonight, but I do need a music stand. Oh my God, social justice and love. I'm gonna put that on the other side. Thanks, Jeremy. And how about a hand for Jeremy and Keith and Andy? Thank you so much for continuing to do this. I love how this monthly event has blossomed. It's my favorite open mic. And now we have comedians, so we have it all here, right? Yeah. So usually I share 2 poems and 2 songs, but tonight, because of the... I'm going to share 1 and 1. This is a song that I wrote. There was a period of my life where I was writing for theater. One of the shows that I was a part of creating actually went to London and Scotland and toured the United States for a couple of years. This one was just a college thing, but I wrote a piece. It was about people camping a lot, and the piece was for a magical night in front of the fire, and they told me I could make it whatever I wanted, but they wanted it to have that, that beautiful feeling when you're outside and it's just like awesome. And so my favorite nighttime phenomenon is when the sun and the moon are up at the same time. And it usually happens either at dusk or at dawn, but no matter what's going on in this crazy world, when I see that, I just know everything's going to be okay. And so it was written for orchestra on a bass line, and so for years I didn't do this song. And during COVID, during the lockdown, I found an arrangement. Sky above, earth below. Father time, moving slow. Brother sun, sister moon. Say hello. Mother Earth, Sister Sea, rolling home peacefully. Brother Sun, Sister Moon. Say hello. Come on, star shine. Come on, nighttime. Come on, day's end. You're my old friend. Mother Earth, Father Sky. What a lifetime, my oh my. Brother sun, sister moon. Say hello. say hello. Say hello. And my poem, it's a new one. It's like brand new. Those of you that know me as a poet know I love sonnets. I love the sonnet form. And though I don't write love poems with my sonnets, well, some of them are sort of like love, just not romantic love. This is called The Blessing of the Arts. In this season of completion, my heart is grateful. My mind at peace, my experience finally seeing the wholeness with all its puzzle piece parts, some coming together, others I gently then willingly release. The larger picture now actually surprising, made beautiful by the arts. Though childhood's all-encompassing dysfunction left me silent, and physical abuses left this girl child robbed of choice, Craypas softened me, then helped me through those moments violent, until music and poetry found me and gave me back my voice. These arts led me out of the darkness and into the light, with a lifeline, a purpose, a living, healing tools that helped me to set things right, healing tools that finally clarified for me the taking and the giving. Thank you, master teachers. Your love and light still sets the tone, helping me find the courage to sing out and share my own. Thank you.
Thank you, Trisha. And next up, our evening's MC, Terry Loncarrick, who's also a wonderful poet in her own right with several books published of her original poetry. She's going to share some with us.
As spring approaches, I know we're all anxious to enjoy spring, and it reminds me of taking many wonderful walks through the Botanic Gardens in Glencoe. Miracles of life. A perfect day to be lazy, if lazy means doing nothing. I admired the patience of flowers, budging slowly through the soil, then twisting into the warmth of the sun. I watched a hummingbird vibrate in a strange flight pattern that no other creature could possibly approximate. I saw an old man. He barely moved, yet his face beamed with the bliss of discovering the secrets of the forest. A honeybee lingered inside a tall wildflower, their colors magically mingling, a whirling pinwheel of splendid shades, emerald greens, deep purples, iridescent golds, a chance to grasp miracles of life. Today, I did absolutely nothing if you consider witnessing the delicacy of God's work a waste of time. And in honor of Women's History Month, this poem was inspired by a young lady that I kind of mentored as like a little bit of a writing coach in the school system. I was there for 13 years. She had a lot of learning disabilities, but she loved to write and she was creative. Smart tomboy, subversive and smoky, her jagged smile reveals she is part spy, part philosopher, a wound-up rebel girl crashing full throttle into the artist's life. She shakes her shag hair like an angry mop, twirls her thoughts with reckless intelligence. She hurtles through life, fails to realize that other women, her sisters from past generations, took huge risks, marched in the streets, gambled romance and security, just for the privilege of being a smart tomboy. I love Women's History Month. Okay, next up we have, I think she might be a comedian, Samantha Schiappone. You are a comedian, right? Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm just going to test out some new stuff, so it's not really connected, but, whatever. So my daughter, she loves to look at herself in the mirror. And my bathtub, it has this really wide rim around it, and the wall is just all mirror. So she will traipse back and forth along the rim of my bathtub, just looking at herself in the mirror. She'll go like this. And then she'll do one of these. And then she'll do a shimmy and a booty shake. She's 4. Send help or wine, maybe. Please. What she loves most is to look at herself in her swimsuits. She could wear them all the time if she had it her way. And it doesn't matter what's going on outside. She wants to be in a swimsuit. It could be 90 degrees outside, swimsuit. Tornado, swimsuit. Blizzard, swimsuit. If you're not from around here, that was the same week. But you get the idea. Doesn't matter the weather, she wants to be in a swimsuit. And I have had epic arguments with this tiny tyrant about whether or not she is allowed to wear her swimsuits where she wants to wear them. She wants to wear them to school. It's against the dress code, so no. She wants to wear them out in the snow. You're gonna get hypothermia and lose a few toes, so no. She wants to wear them to church on Sunday. We're Catholic and Mama's gonna get judged, so no, you cannot. But you know what? After hours of arguments and soul searching, we have finally come to a compromise regarding the swimsuits. And here's what it is. She gets to wear her swimsuits whenever and wherever the hell she wants, and I keep my mouth shut. It's the only way we get any peace in my house, so. Anyway, I also have a dog, so I look at dog stuff a lot. And I love petfinder.com. It's this really awesome website where you can scroll through dog profiles that are available for adoption in your area. And I just love how honest and helpful these profiles are, because they're trying to find permanent homes for these dogs, right? As a single person, it's a little depressing, because as I'm scrolling through them, I just wish that humans were this honest about themselves on their dating profiles. It's super helpful to know that Skittles doesn't get along well with young children and can't be in a home with cats. You wouldn't find that out about a human until you're 6 months into the relationship, and all of a sudden, Chad doesn't like kids and is allergic to cats. Skittles' profile told me that he was found in a dumpster at the back of a restaurant. Isn't that heartbreaking? I just can't believe it. Chad's sister told me that she found him in a dumpster at the back of a restaurant after a weekend bender. Do you think that was on his dating profile? Nope. Someone needs to microchip his ass. He's also neutered, so what are you gonna do? So I am single, so I've been trying to eat better so I can be more trim. But I hate working out with a passion. I just hate it so much. So I have to get my workouts in by accident. On laundry day, I easily go up and down the stairs. There's 30 steps in my house, maybe 25 to 30. Multiple times, sometimes carrying heavy loads of laundry, so boom, there's my cardio. On grocery shopping day, I cannot leave my car unless I'm carrying every single bag into my house at the same time. So there's my arms day, And every spring, I dedicate an entire month to my abs, where I just cough my way into a six-pack. I'll get a cold and, ouch, the flu, feel the burn, but By the time RSV hits, I got a six-pack. Because, you use all 4 of your major ab muscles when you cough. So I bet some of us are hoping we get the flu, preferably around swim season, right? Yeah? If you follow me on Instagram, I'll let you know when it's in my house again, and you can come over. We'll just have a party. It'll be great. I make sourdough, Bryn, so I'll make sourdough for you. Could you imagine a police officer breaking up a party like that? Like, we heard a disturbance of a raging party. Like, no, sorry, officer. It's not a raging party. It's a contaging party. We're not spreading drugs, just germs. Trying to get fit for swimsuit season. It's fine. I love movies, but there is something that kind of irks me about movies. You ever notice when one of the characters is going on a trip and they're packing their bag, and there's an entire inch of space between the top layer of clothes and the zipper, and they just zip it closed? I cannot relate to that. I mean, it doesn't matter where I'm going, for how long, or how big or small the suitcase is in comparison. I have to sit on it. And I have to, pinch the sides closed so I can zip it all the way. It doesn't matter. My suitcase is always bulging and way too overpacked. So, I'll be watching a cheesy Hallmark movie, and sure, I could totally fall in love with a lonely widower at a chickpea festival in Vermont. But the half-empty suitcase just ruined it for me. So unrealistic. That's all I got.
Getting some great storytellers and comics tonight. And in that same vein, let's welcome one of our new regulars, sort of, Mike Preston.
Thank you, Terry. I just want to say at the outset that I've been at Woodstock for 2.5 years now, and I really like it. And one of the first things I liked about it was stage left, initially just sort of as a forum for self-expression, but these days in our current political climate, it feels more like a safe space during the occupation. Stage left reminds me of a French cafe in one of those old World War II movies where the resistance gets together to talk about blowing up bridges and burning Teslas and shit. And I feel like I should be wearing a beret and carrying a submachine gun, and maybe soon I will be. So anyway, this isn't a story, I guess, so much as a rant. When I was growing up, one of the first examples of ethnic humor that I was exposed to was something called the Polish joke, or more commonly and crudely referred to as Polak jokes. Back in the 60s and early 70s, these were all the rage and constantly being passed around. Things like, how many Polaks does it take to change a light bulb? 100. 1 to hold the bulb and 99 to turn the house. Or, did you hear about the Polish hockey team? They drowned during spring training. Or, why do Polish people have ski at the end of their name? Because they can't spell toboggan. Brilliant and insightful witticisms like that. And as a child, I didn't understand how or why Polish people came to be regarded as intellectually inferior. I just accepted that they were. I mean, many of these jokes were being told by adults. They were never wrong about anything. But as I got older and more analytical, it started to become apparent that some stereotypes don't ring true. I mean, the Polish people I knew didn't seem any less intelligent than anybody else. They certainly weren't stupider than my friends. And more importantly, they were often very good people. One of my favorite people in the whole world was my uncle, Casimir Silhouettes. And not only was he very smart and very successful, he was always kind and cheerful and telling jokes, including Polish jokes. But I noticed there was a whole different vibe to him telling a self-deprecating Polish joke as opposed to me and my lowbrow classmates and the sort of mean-spirited humor we were regurgitating. So Polish jokes became less and less funny with the onset of real-life experience and gradually passed off the scene entirely. For that matter, bleeding heart liberals eventually sucked all the fun out of being a bigot of any kind. And by the time I got to be an adult, if you made a stupid or insulting remark about an entire race or nationality, people would look at you like you were some kind of asshole. But these days, I've noticed that seems to be turning around. Bigots and racists are crawling out of whatever cracks they've been hiding in and literally parading their prejudices right out in the street. I think stupid, lowbrow, mean-spirited humor is poised to make a big comeback. And I'd like to be on the front lines of that movement. But I've also noticed that there's currently kind of a comedy void. I mean, obviously, the Polish thing isn't going to cut it anymore. So who can people of average intelligence mock and look down upon without fear of being corrected? Nobody. Well, that is, unless you're applying realistic behavioral analysis and historical accuracy and asking yourself questions like, let's see, what country elected the stupidest guy to ever run for president? Is there maybe a country that looked at a failed businessman with a history of fraud and deceit and said, now there's a guy we can trust, let's put him in charge? Is any country actually considering eliminating the Department of Education? Could there possibly be a country that accidentally texted out classified war plans to people without a security clearance? Are you seeing a pattern here? I mean, if you're looking at America with any sort of objectivity these days, we don't seem all that bright. And I know it's tempting to get defensive and say, wait a minute, there are plenty of intelligent Americans, and that may be true, but they aren't currently very well represented. When it comes to international relations, in the whole of mice and men dynamic, we're not George, we're Lenny. Or for my MAGA friends, we're not Mo, we're Curly. Let's face it, stupid is in this year, and we're wearing it loud and proud like a plaid leisure suit. For all we know, they could already be making these jokes overseas. You know, things like, how many Americans does it take to bring back measles? Just one, but he's got to have a worm in his brain. Or, did you hear about the American militia? They invaded their own capital. Or, why do they call it the Gulf of America? Because they can't spell Mexico. Look, I'm not happy about this situation. Clearly we have a problem, but the first step in solving a problem is admitting it. And then we have to get help from other smarter countries like, I don't know, maybe Poland. We should also be leaning heavily on old friends like Canada and Mexico, because we're going to need a lot of assistance. We got a lot of light bulbs that need changing. Thank you.
Well, we're getting our doses of humor tonight, which is great. So next up is the wonderful Carol Alphys, who I think has some exciting news to share. Yeah? Y'all hear me? Yeah, okay. So yes, if I could start with some totally self-serving news. Today, I signed and submitted a contract to a publisher who's going to publish my poems. So yeah, thanks. Woo. Oh, and Mike, I am so glad you are here tonight because anybody else besides me and Mike live in Crystal Lake in the 1960s? Just us, the both of us. Okay, so Palm Sunday, 1965, I was 10 years old, 60 years ago. Holy crap. It was April 11th. And
Yeah, I almost got, if you don't know, a tornado hit Crystal Lake. And I mean, people died, 5, 6? Anyway, it was awful. It leveled one whole subdivision, the Colby subdivision. And I almost got caught out in it. And this is a poem about that. And it's a true story called Before the Tornado. 80 degrees on Palm Sunday. So a walk to the lake to scour the beach for treasures washed up over the winter is planned. In Keds and first-time shorts, we skip and chatter. The air is thick and pregnant with the scent of earth. But giddy with summer in April, we barely notice. A grumble of thunder slows our steps. A second, louder and more aggressive, stops us cold. For the first time, we look up to a tumble of roiling clouds in a sky that is green. We turn and dash for home, feet slapping, thunder growling, wet wind breathing down our necks. Up the driveway, we're spattered by the first fat drops, panting and laughing. We rush through the door and hear, "Downstairs, now!" Down we go and flop on the old couch and wait. And that tornado came, it didn't come down the street, but it took the roof off a couple of houses, just like up the street a bit. So yeah. I don't know if you know what ekphrastic poetry is. It's a poem that's written about a work of art, a painting, a photograph, a sculpture, a statue. So I went on a field trip, a virtual field trip to the Louvre with a poetry group. I think it was the Illinois Poetry Society. And we were told to pick a work of art and write an ekphrastic poem about it. So I just was totally taken with this delightful little statuette of a peddler. And, you probably can't see it. It was probably done in 1700. They don't know. Maybe in France, maybe in Germany. They don't know. Anyway, it's delightful. It's probably, in real life, it's probably like half the size of this because it's a statuette. And it was used by Marie Antoinette as a snuff box. Anyway, I sucked in and I made up a story about that peddler. And the poem is called The Peddler. Andre the peddler tramps down a road as crooked as a drunkard's walk. The morning is hot. He swipes his sodden hair away from his one good eye as he mops the sweat from his pox-scarred face. His hummock back is chafed from the trunk he carries. Around the next turn is a village tucked like a handkerchief in the bosom of this valley. The tinkling of bells hanging from his trunk straps alert the villagers of Andre's approach. Soon, young and old are gathering to view the wonders in the emporium he carries. This man of frightful countenance bears the weight of beauty. Rings and necklaces, powdered rouges, combs and shoe buckles, scented water, and small cunning tools for primping. A practical man, Andre also stocks ink and quills, tobacco, thread, nails, and other necessaries. The ointments and medicines he peddles are of dubious efficacy, but Andre is an earnest and persuasive salesman. Far from the fine shops of the cities, the folks of the villages and hamlets on Andre's route are hungry, not only for the novelty bits and bobs he carries, but also for news and gossip from the world beyond their crooked road. Andre obliges them, holding court between vigorous bouts of haggling. The commerce completed, the crowd drifts off with their treasures, save for a reed-thin girl in a dirty smock, watching Andre pack his trunk.
His eye falls on her hands, clutched tightly like as a secret. "Show us your coin, child." "Sir, I have none." Andre grunts and continues packing. A backward glance. "What can you trade then?" In the shell of her hands is a scuffed brass button. "Found it in the road, sir." Quick as a snake, Andre snatches the button, stuffs it in a pocket, and turns back to his trunk. The girl blinks, her face beginning to crumble, when Andre just as quickly stuffs a soft green ribbon in her still open hands and growls, "Now be gone." Off she bounds like a frightened rabbit, clutching her prize, while Andre shoulders his trunk. There's a tavern an hour's walk from here, strong ale, cheap food, and a bed for the night. Thank you. And it's almost April, National Poetry Month. Yeah, right? Okay. This is very, very short. April slipped quietly into town, robed in damp and chill, gazing upon our sullen, sun-starved faces. She winked an emerald eye and whispered, "Patience, my lovelies." Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for keeping their sets seamless and tight. Look at, it's really early still, so we're doing well. So next up, our resident beat poet, Les Caress.
All right, how's that sound? Okay. Okay, this one is called A Poem for Mr. Swellhead. Mr. Swellhead, you don't know that you don't know because you talk more than you listen. What's missing? Common sense and the fact that you're human counts as much as mistakes made, fool. You think I'm the enemy? A tug of war is all you'll get by being an asshole. The best of the best restaurants you asshole, skinny as an Auschwitz toothpick, the war you fight with yourself is not a war, but a misplaced ego on stilts. Who's missing the action? Not you, labeling me the fool. Inferiority complex, so human. Your mother, unblessed and human, abandoned you when you were 3, asshole. I shout, who's the fool now, fool? Driving the best of the best cars. Town knows your sense of modesty ain't missing. It's a superiority, know-it-all war. I'm just a civilian caught in your war. War, it's all in your mind. You're human as the next guy who's truly missing what comes with peace of mind, asshole. Want to fight some more? I'm game. Know the score? Sat on a dunce's stool once, fool. People making mistakes won't fool me into fighting. Your I, me, mine, war reinvents who we are. Do you know collateral damage is our uncertainty? Human as a monkey smiles. Yours, shove it up your asshole. Truth be told, compassion is what's missing. Mr. Swellhead, you don't know what you're missing. Being the fool that you are ain't cool, fool. But you think you're always right, asshole. Mr. Swellhead, the war ain't a war, is it? Aren't we? Human, Mr. Swellhead, a.k.a. Pighead, knows Nothing's worth nothing. Know what's missing? The human concept. Fish or cut the bait, fool. That's the skin we're in. War with it, asshole. Okay. I guess that's kind of fits today's whatever's going on. Okay. Okay, this one's called Poems. I wrote this 10 years ago. I thought I found it. I'll read it again. Poems form into souls that roam home alone. I find my soul home, a syndrome in a superdome of ancient lives that died. Live here, home, where the silent air roams over poems. Home, in my mind, are catacombs of poems. Loans, my imagination too, it combs. Poems with more poems form like gypsies that roam home. Owns the soul of whom? Like a bone thrown, the exile of myself. Call me vulnerable. Boomerangs, spits, gurgitates back home. Crunch, yum. Medicine cabinet owns a cyclone of poems. Snap your fingers, I am. Okay, that's it.
Well, I'm excited to introduce, actually, it's his second performance here. Luke Welch came all the way from Rockford with a posse of poets, and you're going to hear from them too. Luke, take it away.
Maybe swap the next two? Yeah, swap the next two, yeah. Oh, hold on. Is this? He's coming.
Come on, Luke. Luke's a trooper.
Sorry, I had to make my grand entrance or something. That was a good one. Did everybody hear his joke? Never mind. It was a good joke, though. I appreciated it. All right. Get the reading glasses on, open up the correct thing. Okay. I'm just doing one poem, right?
We're pretty good on schedule, so.
Can I do two, guys? Yeah. Listen to the first one before you agree to that, right? Smart. Okay, this is called Binge Watching Planet Earth. I'm thinking they might not do another season. I mean, they've already done everything, haven't they? Civilization after civilization, calamity after calamity, and this batch of characters on this new season seems oblivious to what happened before. I mean, they make all the same mistakes, and it's the same storylines. These ones hate these ones, and these other ones hate those other ones, and the leaders of these ones like what they've got over there, so they pretend to be morally outraged at something they made up in their heads, so they can go steal that whatever, and hilarity ensues, and apocalypse, and screaming, and I'm on fire, blah blah blah, and a few make it out and rebuild, and then cliffhanger. And it all happens again. New characters, new maps, same old story. I don't even think the writers are trying anymore, and I'm just bored. And anyway, I'm out of popcorn, and there's a brand new season of Mars over on HBO. Let's just turn the fucking channel. So you'll let me do one more, right? Thank you, guys. Love you. This is called Scamerica. Oh, Scamerica, you who have in your dumbed-down, demented, brain-addled state sent your life savings to Nigerian princes. You who are still paying for your timeshare. You who lost everything in crypto, who fell for pyramids, Ponzi's, pump and dumps, who got hooked and reeled in by phishing scams, who gave your personal information to hackers, bots, and spam. Who better to preside over everything you claim to love than a con man, a fraudster? You gloat that you gave your vote to him and now sit like a little king on your stained couch and wait for the news to tell you between corporate sponsors that your swindler in chief has made Scamerica great again. And you'll believe it. You'll fucking believe it.
I love those poems that have the bite to them. You know, that's wonderful. Okay, now another one of the Rockford contingents, Savvy Magoo.
All right, shameless plug here. Moxie back there, you'll hear from her in a minute, and a bunch of other poets in Rockford are putting on an event April 16th. It is a performance based on Allen Ginsberg's Howl, April 16th at 27 Aluna. Find somebody who's on Facebook and look up Paul Savvy Magoo Goddard. You can find all the info there, all right? Yeah. Speaking of beats. All right, a couple from, I just traveled to Europe, so I got a couple from there, and then we'll see where I go from there. True Love comes out. The rock musician would never just socially jam, using voice or guitar, what made him famous. But if a jam lasted long enough, and the lingering hopeful fans gave up, so late just musicians, the rock star would reach, almost like reaching for a scratch. But when his hand returned to view, it contained that little sandwich of metal and wood. And wow, did that harp wail. A little more existential here. A city itself. Rain spattering on pavement, on stone, on blacktop. Running, puddling, splashing. Walking, I work my way through neighborhoods. Avoid the rivulets downstream from garbage piles. Avoid the individuals alone, awaiting what? Don't want to know, need not to know, knowing the cost is too high one way or another. Jarred by clustered, boisterous, abusing tourists having their own fun. The city is dark, wet, cold, vacant. All right, I'm going to drop this on you. This is a true story, happened this week. One night stand. The movers arrived early, literally 2 men in a truck. She is moving out, 2 weeks short of 32 years. Not all happy, yet successful, raising 2 adults, both self-realized educators, who make any place they are better, and best of all, happy. Careers, union leadership, church, family, and friends. We are to remain friends, still love each other as friends. On the Sonos sound system, my playlist entitled Tepid and Fumbling plays love songs of sex and romance and heartbreak. I love irony, and there was little of either sex or romance the last 2 decades, not even tepid and fumbling. There's irony, too, in the 2 men's confirmation of the last item to go, because neither of us ever cheated, proud of that. As Lucy Dacus sings Night Shift on the Sonos, as the 2 men take away One Night Stand.
Rockford's putting out some good poets here.
I invited him. You want me to come over to that one?
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay. That one's kind of tall for me. And now, another delightful Rockford poet, Maisie Knox. I love her name.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Good? Is this good? All right. Sounds way different up here. All right. I heard, Terry, you like those punchy ones? Yeah? Okay, I'll do this one I call Soup Can. Let's see if I can find her, though. It's all right. Soup can-sized thoughts. loitering in the kitchen, staring blank into the cupboard. Ingredients of me everywhere. Scatterbrain, no recipe. Instructions blasted all over the label, but still no clue of what to do. Soup can-sized thoughts, well, at least that is how I have imagined them to be. Compartmentalize, organize truth. Fear in that first bite of writhing hot soup. Temptation I salute. Indecisive coward not appetized by you. Actually, let me break a few dishes, rearrange those cookie-cutter cabinets, not push in my chair. Fuck that coaster, I'll put my drink anywhere. Maybe I'll slam the cupboard door while I'm at it, startling the cabinets to its left and right because I hate soup, but crave any truth that is too big to swallow, leaving me mostly hollow with small remnants of white lies I've told myself over time. Because in reality, my thoughts are not soup can sized, but rather that is how I pitch them to stay alive. Society's judgment, so I stay put, staring blank into this cupboard, wasting precious borrowed time that is not yours and is definitely not mine. Thank you. Okay, this one is titled, I hope I can do two, that's fine. Okay. Songbirds don't belong to anyone. And there she was, face planted in her book, oblivious to any looks. The madness couldn't touch her. He, the man staring, imagining the book to be himself, it's like prey versus fucking predator. Poised eyes, love at first sight, or biological urge. He doesn't know or care, he just desperately wants to be seen by her. She did glance as he stumbled in. That's all she needed to go about her thoughts within. Thoughts about how he will romanticize her independence, her charisma, her passions. He will even romanticize the way she walks into rooms, rooms in which she knows nobody, rooms in which they don't know her. He'll romanticize that by the third stare, she'll get a smile, and by the fourth, she'll get a hi, how are you? He'll witness her inviting face being recognized by others and internally cower away. Yet she'll be on to the seventh talking about her day. She's a songbird, you see. She writes her own melodies. He'll try to stuff her into his lint-infested pocket for his own security. She'll have to relearn how to break free. So no, she won't engage. She won't even skip a beat, for that novel is far more interesting. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
We have two more poets, and that's going to wrap up our night. Thanks, everyone, for being such a great audience. Okay, next up is Trace Gamachi from Crystal Lake.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys being here and letting me read with you. Oh, I'm so nervous. It's just a little crush. It's never just a hush. It's only just one touch. But one is just too much, because for me, it's not enough. It just was what it was, I guess. I know it's all for the best, but I just can't lay it to rest, and now it's all just a mess. Thank you. Okay. Forgive me. Okay. I just have two more, if I may. They'll go pretty quickly. This scene, so sweet, plays on repeat, reeling in my heart's own feeling. This is heaven, sent to me in my own dreams. This is where nothing's as it seems. Here is where your eyes meet mine, our limbs together gently entwine, bodies pulsing in time, and I come to find I want this, you. I want your warm embrace and fingers laced. I want to learn the scent of you and let it linger on my clothes and pillows. I want to be inside. I want you to be inside. I want to feel you fill my places where once stood empty spaces. And I want to do it wearing nothing but your hat. And when we spot the clock, we'll chuckle, saying, look at that. Because everybody knows time flies when you're having fun. I want to hear you whisper, please don't go, even though we both know I must. But most of all, I don't want to wake up. Okay, thank you. And this last one does have a title. It is called Trauma for Two. At a table with a reservation not solely meant for you, you fiercely defend a chair opposing. This table is set for two. And the waiting game begins. You think, I was early, give it time. The clock's drone on and sweats on your palms, and now the questions flood your mind. This chair is still empty, the table untouched, though you feel you've been waiting quite long enough. You imagine the tastes, the sounds, and the scents. You can almost hear in their words, to the chef, give my compliments. Yet no plates have been savored, nor treats to be had. And what's worst of all, this conversation was all in your head. Thank you.
I've been trying to bring some poets in from other neighborhoods, so, just to show the depth of talent we have here. Isn't it wonderful tonight? Okay, last on the lineup is a woman named Evelyn. I think she's a poet. Is she a poet? What is she? Oh, storyteller? Okay, I'm sorry, that's all the information I was given. So, Evelyn the storyteller.
Thank you for letting me be up here. Appreciate your time. Okay. So I need to dedicate this to someone that I love the most, and I don't show him enough. This is called You Were There. You were there in the chaos, and your love brought me peace. You were there in the pain and hurt, and your love transformed it for good. You were there in the joy that I never imagined. You were there in the sorrow that broke my heart. You were there in the struggle that brought me to my knees. You were there encouraging me, holding up my arms when I couldn't hold up my own. You were there catching me when I fell. You were always there, even when I didn't see. There really are no words that can express my awe at your goodness. The truth is, I don't deserve this kind of love. This moment right here would not be possible without your love. One day we will hang out with Jesus. We'll talk with Jesus. We'll see him, not just hear him. And I cannot wait for that day. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Evelyn. Well, that's going to do it for this evening, folks, and what a wonderful evening. I'm so glad you could all be here and that you could all stay. Special thanks to all the folks that came way over from Rockford. I hope you'll come back. It's made it really special. And as you can see, these are getting more popular, and we end up with quite a lineup. So please do sign up in advance for next month's open mics. Just go to offsquaremusic.org and click on Sign Up to Perform. Fill out the little form there, and we'll get you on the list. While you're on that website, be sure to grab your tickets for the Ken Johnson concert on April 4th. And then you can head over to woodstockfolkfestival.org to get your tickets for the spring festival. That's the spring benefit concert that's coming up. And you can grab a flyer for that over there on the left. Thank you all. Drive safe. See you next time.